Hi, in this video I'm going to go over the basics of Google Sites. So if you go to sites.google.com, you'll come to this page. Now if you already have a Google account, like a Gmail account, just log in with your account information. So I have a couple of these, so I'm going to use my personal one. And if you don't have an account, you can just sign up. And so I have a couple sites already up here, but let's just take a look at one so you get an idea of what a Google site can look like. So this is a basic site, and you can even see that there's an image error. I haven't looked at this in a while, on introducing HTML and CSS. And so it gives some basic descriptions, and it says let's get started, right? And then it gets right into things. And so you can see it has multiple pages, and you can collapse these, and then a home page. So a pretty basic site, right? So let's go back and let's just hit create. So in this case, you can go through and you can actually try to look at the different templates. I often just start with a blank template. So I'm going to do this for a course that I teach. Alright, and so here I can select a theme if I want more options. I want to make sure I'm a real person. And then I'm going to hit create because I can go back and change all this other stuff later. Okay, you can see that someone's already actually used this before, so 512 is not available. So they want to give me a suggestion. So we'll try to use this and see. Alright, still is not available. So, see if this is any more luck. And it looks like this is going to work. Now, the name of the site I can change later. This is actually going to be part of the URL. And so you can see now it's BSU at Tech 512. And this is what a basic site looks like. So you have options here to edit the page. You can add a new page. And then over here, you can actually go through and do a number of different things. So this is where under more, you'll do a lot of this stuff. So in this case, I'm going to first just illustrate the edit the page. Let's try that once more. So if I click the pencil, you can notice that there's certain things I can edit, like home. I can add text down here. I can do some basic formatting up top, right? But I can't edit the navigation. I can't edit the name of the site here, and I can't do anything over here. So that's about it. It's the body of the page. So clicking the pencil just does the basic things for the body of the page. Now, I can add a new page. So I'm going to call this design documents. And then I have a few options I can do from an announcements, a file cabinet, or a list. I find the web page, basic web page is what I always want. And then it allows me, do I want it at the top level or do I want to nest it under the home button? So nesting is, I guess, the word I'm using here. Like these two pages are nested under the HTML page, right? So I'm just going to leave it at the top level. So I'm going to type design documents, bold. Now I can always add files as attachments, right? And so they would be at the very bottom. So that's one way to do this. But I'm going to show you in a minute how other ways that I can do it. But for now, I'm going to hit save. Okay, so this is the basic way of editing a page, adding a new page. All right, now let's dig into more just a little. So I can look at page settings, and if I go down here to actually manage site, this is where I'm going to have more control over things such as the template. So if I go down here, this is where, and I usually begin with this because I want to get the look and the feel of the site set up first. But you'll notice that this is also where I can change the name of my site. I'm just adding some description text just so you can see. Now I can go down and you notice that you can do a few other things down here. You can later create a template. You can do some webmaster tools. So you can actually, one thing that's amazing, and I've created a video on this, is you can get a custom domain added for about $10 a year for a Google site. So if you're thinking about setting up like your own personal portfolio, this is something I did for my wife. And you can see AwesomeLoneWithAll.com, but it's just created in Google Sites. Let's jump down to themes. Actually, I'm going to hit stay on this page because I didn't hit save. And if you remember up top, I changed the name. So now, once it's done, I'm going to go down here, themes and colors. And so this is where I can do a couple things for the site, right? And so the base theme right now is up here. You can see what it is. And so I can go down here. And I often will start with myself, simple, sometimes blank, sometimes micro. Let's right now just do, I don't remember rounders. That's the other thing is you'll notice that these will change over time. Right, so that's what rounders looks like. And so I could work from this if I wanted to, right? And so now I can go down here and, there's the background. So right now it's set to the theme. This is where I can start to customize this, right? I can see, okay, that's not quite what I want. And there's a lot of sites out there you can use to kind of help you with the color scheme if you want. Right, so image I can do with that. Wrap image, so there's a few things I can do here, and then I can jump to text, right? You want to make sure you have contrast is strong. Right here, it could probably be improved a little more. And I'm going to just play with the theme a little more. You can see that changed the body a little. I can go back, right? So I'm going to go with probably a 12 for now. But if you're not sure, you just jump back to theme and you stick with that. Link color, you can play with that. So let's go to site header. Right, so that's this area up here, so I can adjust a few things there, right? So I can adjust the color as well as an image if I want to use an image. And if you're not sure what things look like, you can see what none looks like. But I could put in an image. I don't have one right now. Content area. Right, so it allows me to adjust the page title, my headings, my body text. So spend some time playing with this. I'm going to keep this as is. I'm going to hit save. Notice up here I could clear all my customizations. Now I'm going to go back down. I'm going to hit one thing I missed, what I wanted to point out. Configure search. So if you want search, right, you could go in here and you could say, what do I want it to be? In this case, I'm going to say no, I'm not going to have search. When you think you have kind of the basics of what you want, you can go back to your main page. And this gives you a general feel of what the site's going to look like, right? And so with this now, if I want to start editing it and adding documents, so I have a couple options. I'm going to edit this page. And down here, if I wanted to link to, for instance, let's say I wanted to link to this page. Right, so I'd go in here and I could type in my link that I want, and if I highlight it, you can go up to the link tool and it makes it a link. I can remove it, I can change it because maybe I want to change the text it displays. Always want sites that go or links to external pages to open a new window. And if I didn't like the way the link color showed up, that's something I could always go back and edit. So that's a way to add a link to an external site right here. So at the same time, I could link to a Google Doc. So here I've just got a document and I need to make sure that this is published. So I can go to share, right? I want to change from private to anyone with the link, or even better, public on the web. I'm going to save. It's going to give me this URL. And then I'd go back and I'd link to my Google Doc. Right, and so here it wants to search. I'm going to go to actually a web address. I'm going to open a new window. And I'm going to hit save. So just like that, you can see when I click on this, it opens to a new site and a new window. Here it opens to a Google Doc. And just like that, it shows you two ways to add documents. Now, keep in mind, edit, I can go to insert, and you can do lots of things with gadgets. So you can be aware of how you can do that. You can also, you'll notice that there's some basic Google Doc things that it allows you, such as a document, to insert. And so you can go here, and then it's going to link to your Google Doc account, or you can paste the address here. So be aware that it integrates pretty good with your Google Doc. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. One more thing I want to show out, if you go to more, and be aware that you have page settings is something to always be aware of, right? And so it allows you to customize a few basic things on the page. And the two things I really want to point out here are allow comments and allow attachments. So you got to think through whether that makes sense for your page or not. Then I bring it up because for attachments, now I can add an attachment this way, right? So let's say this is something that I want to link to. And just like that, that document is right here. But also, comments. Do I want people to be able to comment on the project or not? And so that's something to think about. Two last things that come to mind is, you notice how this word wraps? And that's because the size of this, but also because it's not using this text over here. And so that's something that you could change. And it's, once again, you just have to spend a good bit of time playing with editing the site layout, which is one thing, so you can play with this, you can play with the horizontal navigation if you have it, you can customize the footer, because you might find that the footer you want to add your own little bit, so maybe it's, I want to add a copyright Patrick Lowenthal or something like that. But more than anything I want to show you over here is the navigation. So I can go to edit sidebar, right? And I can decide to display it on the left and right. I can control the width if I want to. And then navigation. I can click here and it says, notice how when I mouse over, edit this, right? I might decide that I don't want the sitemap. It's a small site, I don't want it. I might decide that I want some type of title above my navigation. So these are important things to be aware of. And then last thing I want to do is show this plus sign. This is where I can go and I can add some basic things. So I can add links to individual pages, right? But where I really want to point that out is, let's say I want to add navigation. Right? This is where it allows me to do, so now all of a sudden I can unhide that, I can add a page if I want a custom, but more importantly, I can add a custom URL. So back to, we said multiple ways that you can add text, right? So I can add a link to an external site in the body or a Google Doc, or I can attach one, right? But I can also have a link over here. So let's check this last link, and it works. I'd want to go back and make sure that it opens in a new window. But overall, I just spent a few minutes and gave you a basic rundown of some basic features of creating a Google site with the Google Sites application. Thanks.